Did you know? Joseph Kennedy, patriarch of the Kennedy family, made his fortune through insider trading and went on to become the first chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. In the early 1900s, Joseph Kennedy was a rising star on Wall Street. He was known for his ruthless business tactics, which often included insider trading. By the 1920s, he was one of the wealthiest men in America, with an estimated wealth of $4 million. By 1935, his wealth had increased to $180 million. In 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt appointed Kennedy to be the first chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. This was a surprising move, given Kennedy's shady business history. However, Roosevelt believed that Kennedy was the best person to clean up the stock market, which had been plagued by scandals leading up to the Great Depression. To Kennedy's credit, he did a good job of regulating the stock market. He outlawed many of the practices that he had used to make his fortune. He also helped to restore investor confidence. Kennedy served as chairman of the SEC until 1935. He later went on to become a major supporter of President John F. Kennedy, his son. Did you know? Baseball legend Shoeless Joe Jackson was illiterate and had his wife sign his name. Born in 1887 in Brandon, South Carolina, Joe Jackson's early life was marked by hardship. He began working when he was 6 to help support his family. Because of this, he never had the chance to attend school. Despite his lack of education, Jackson possessed an exceptional talent for baseball. His natural hitting ability caught the eye of local scouts, leading to his signing with the Greenville Spinners in 1903. Jackson quickly rose through the ranks, joining the Philadelphia Athletics in 1905. He helped them secure World Series titles in 1910 and 1911. At his peak in 1911, he led the American League with a batting average of .376. While Jackson's career soared, his inability to read or write remained a source of embarrassment. However, Jackson's rise was cut short by the infamous Black Sox scandal of 1919. Jackson, along with 7 other members of the Chicago White Sox, was accused of conspiring to lose the World Series intentionally. Although Jackson denied any involvement, he was ultimately banned from baseball for life, a decision that overshadowed his remarkable career. Did you know? Charles Joseph Bonaparte, a great-nephew of the famous French emperor, played a key role in establishing the U.S. Bureau of Investigation, the forerunner of the FBI. Charles Joseph Bonaparte, born in Baltimore, Maryland in 1851, was the grandson of Jérôme Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte's younger brother. Charles Bonaparte studied law and became a lawyer, serving in various government positions, including Secretary of the Navy and Attorney General of the United States. As Attorney General, Bonaparte wanted to improve the way the government investigated crimes. In 1908, he established the Bureau of Investigation within the Department of Justice, which operated under his control. The BOI utilized groundbreaking techniques for the time, like fingerprint analysis and ballistics, to investigate crimes. These techniques were an improvement over the old methods, which were often based on guesswork and unreliable evidence. The Bureau of Investigation was very successful in its early years. It investigated and prosecuted numerous federal crimes, including embezzlement, counterfeiting, and white-collar crime. In 1935, the Bureau of Investigation was reorganized and renamed the Federal Bureau of Investigation under the leadership of J. Edgar Hoover. Did you know? In the early 1900s, before there were rules about food safety, the grocery store was a dangerous place. Food companies could put whatever they wanted in their products, even if it was unhealthy. Formaldehyde, a strong preservative, was used to keep milk, beer, and other drinks fresh for longer. It was also used to make flour whiter and to make gelatin, which is in stuff like marshmallows and jelly. Lead, on the other hand, got into food in several ways. It was in the paint used on food processing machines, in the glaze on pottery, and even added to some candy and wine. People didn't know how bad formaldehyde and lead were at the time, and there weren't any rules in place to stop companies from using them. That changed in 1906 when President Theodore Roosevelt signed the Pure Food and Drug Act. This law made it illegal to sell food that was contaminated or had the wrong labels. It also gave the government the power to go into food factories and make sure they were following the guidelines. Did you know? In the early 2000s, the internet was very different than it is today. Most people still had dial-up internet connections at home, which were slow and unreliable. As a result, many people used their employer's high-speed internet to shop online. This was especially true on the Monday after Thanksgiving, which is now known as Cyber Monday. The term was coined by the digital arm of the National Retail Federation in 2005. They noticed that online sales were significantly higher on the Monday after Thanksgiving. Many people had just received holiday bonuses and were looking to spend some of that extra money using their employer's high-speed internet. This made it easier for them to shop online without having to deal with slow dial-up speeds at home. It quickly became a major event for online retailers, who offered deep discounts and promotions to attract shoppers. Today, Cyber Monday is still a major shopping event, even though most people now have high-speed internet connections. Did you know? In the early 1950s, with the Cold War in full swing, the CIA was looking for any way it could gain an advantage over the Soviet Union. One of the ways they thought they could do this was by developing mind control techniques. In 1951, the CIA launched Operation Artichoke, a program designed to develop ways to control the minds of people. The program was based on the theory that it might be possible to brainwash someone into carrying out an assassination or other harmful act. Operation Artichoke was a top-secret program, and very little is known about it. However, it is believed the CIA experimented with a number of different mind control techniques, including hypnosis, drugs, and sensory deprivation. One of the most notorious aspects of Operation Artichoke was the use of LSD. The CIA believed that LSD could be used to induce powerful hallucinations and make people more susceptible to suggestion. They experimented with LSD on a number of unwitting subjects, including military personnel and civilians. Operation Artichoke was eventually shut down in 1957, but not before it had caused a great deal of harm. Did you know? In 1978, the FBI launched an undercover operation codenamed Abscam to investigate corruption among public officials. The operation, which ran until 1980, involved setting up a fake company, Abdul Enterprises Limited, and using it to offer bribes to members of Congress and other government officials. Posing as wealthy Arab businessmen seeking investments in the United States, undercover FBI agents met with officials and offered them lucrative business opportunities. In exchange for political favors, such as support for legislation beneficial to Abdul Enterprises, the agents promised substantial bribes. Over a 2-year period, the FBI contacted 31 members of Congress and other government officials. Of those targeted, nearly 25% accepted bribes totaling over $1 million. Among the convicted were 7 members of Congress. The Abscam operation received a mixed response from the American public. Some supported the FBI, but others believed that it was entrapment ordered by the FBI seeking revenge for earlier congressional inquiries into police brutality and abuse. Congress created a number of guidelines for sting operations over the following years. Did you know?